Chosen one, what if I told you that the very people who betrayed you are now crying over their mistake? They see now what they lost, and it's too late. They thought they could walk away from you and be fine. They thought they could replace you, that you were just another person, someone they could use and discard when it suited them. They took your kindness for weakness, laughed at your loyalty, and convinced themselves that they would be better off without you. But now, they see the truth. Now, the very people who hurt you, who disrespected you, who pushed you away, are sitting in regret, realizing that they lost something they will never get back. They thought they could play with your energy, but what they failed to understand is that you were not just anyone, you were a blessing. And once a chosen one walks away, there is no going back. They might not have admitted it to you yet, but inside they know. They see the difference. Their lives are not the same without you. The support you gave them, the love, the guidance, the protection, everything they took for granted is now gone, and they are struggling to find it again. They thought the world would be the same without you, but reality has hit them hard. And now they are desperate to reverse what they did. They wish they had treated you better. They wish they had seen your value before it was too late. But you have already moved on. And once you realize what I'm about to reveal in this video, you will know exactly why you were always the real blessing. Stay with me until the end, because by the time we're done, you will never second-guess your worth again. Like this video and comment 77 if you know they regret losing you. Now let's begin. Why they thought they didn't need you. They thought they had all the time in the world. They thought they could treat you however they wanted, walk all over your kindness, and you would still be there, waiting, forgiving, giving without hesitation. They never considered the possibility that one day you would wake up, recognize your worth, and remove yourself from their reach. To them, your presence was expected. Your love was unconditional, and your patience had no limits. But they failed to see the deeper truth. Your presence was a privilege, not a right. You were never meant to be used, never meant to be someone's backup plan, never meant to be an option while they pursued something else. They thought they could find another you, someone who could offer the same depth, the same understanding, the same light. But they couldn't. And that's when it all started to crumble. You were the rarest presence in their life, but they were too blind to see it. The wisdom you offered, the energy you carried, the way you uplifted and protected them, it was unlike anything they had ever known. But they mistook it for something replaceable. They assumed the next person would do for them what you did. They assumed the world was full of people like you. But the truth is, when you are divinely chosen, when you are walking in a higher calling, your spirit is unmatched. And when they lost you, they lost a piece of something they will never find again. They assumed their betrayal had no weight, that their mistreatment would have no consequence. But spiritual laws do not work that way. When you betray a chosen one, you invite chaos into your life. When you take a divine presence for granted, you unknowingly push away every blessing attached to them. Comment value if you have ever seen people realize too late what you meant to them, because next we will uncover the exact moment they finally saw their mistake. First, they didn't feel the loss. They believed they had made the right decision. They moved forward without a second thought, convinced that life would be just as easy, just as fulfilling without you. They entertained distractions, convinced themselves that what they did was justified. Some even mocked you, laughed at your pain, acting as though they had one. But the divine has a way of revealing truth in time. The moment they thought they had moved on, the moment they believed their actions carried no consequences, reality hit them. Things started to shift. Relationships they thought were secure started falling apart. The people they prioritized over you failed them. The excitement they chased quickly turned into regret. And slowly they began to realize it was never about the external. It was never about what they thought they were gaining. It was about you. You were the reason their life felt stable, the reason things aligned, the reason they felt whole. And without you, everything started to fall apart. This realization comes differently for each person. Some feel it in the silence, in the absence of your presence, your support, your love. Others experience it through failure, watching their life take a downward turn they cannot explain. The favor that once surrounded them disappears. The peace they once had is gone. The happiness they expected to find never arrives. And in those moments, they look back and realize you were never the problem. They were. They were the ones who could not see the blessing in front of them. They were the ones who mistook divine favor for something ordinary. They were the ones who thought they could do better only to end up with worse. Even those who would never admit it out loud feel the regret internally. They see the shift, they see the difference, and they know exactly where they went wrong. They remember every time you were there when no one else was. They remember the way you believed in them when they doubted themselves. They remember the way you protected them, encouraged them, poured into them. And now they realize what they lost. Now they sit with the weight of their own mistakes, knowing that no apology, no explanation, no amount of regret can turn back time. Comment regret if you have ever seen someone finally understand what they lost. Because next, we will dive into how their lives started falling apart after you left. The moment they realized their mistake. At first, they feel relief. They convince themselves that they made the right decision, that walking away from you or betraying you was the best choice for them. They celebrate their so-called freedom, acting as if losing you meant gaining something better. They tell themselves that you were never that special, that someone else will come along and replace what they once had with you. They might even mock you, treating your kindness and loyalty as if it were a weakness. In their minds, they are winning. They are moving forward, and they believe they have everything under control. But what they don't realize is that the moment they turn their back on you, they set something in motion that they could never reverse. It doesn't take long before the cracks start to show. At first, it's small things, the conversations that feel empty, the moments of connection that never seem to match what they once had. They thought they could replace you, but something is missing. The people they turn to in your absence do not bring them the same level of peace, the same depth of understanding, the same unwavering support that you did. The new relationships feel shallow, temporary, transactional. And no matter how much they try to convince themselves otherwise, they can sense the difference. The stability you brought into their life is gone. The reassurance they once felt just by having you around has disappeared. They used to take your presence for granted, but now they are beginning to feel the weight of its absence. This realization is part of a divine lesson. The Bible speaks of this in Proverbs 14 verse 12. There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way to death. At the time, their decision felt right. They believed they were doing what was best for them. But spiritual truth always reveals itself in the end. When they walked away from you, they walked away from a divine covering, a source of protection, a presence that was meant to help them grow. And now, as reality sets in, they begin to see the consequences of their actions. It starts with regret, with replaying every moment in their mind. They think back to the conversations they dismissed, the love they didn't appreciate, the loyalty they threw away as if it meant nothing. And suddenly, they see it all so clearly. They made the worst mistake of their life. The silence becomes unbearable. Where once there was comfort, there is now emptiness. They start searching for you, looking for signs of you, hoping to hear your voice, to feel your presence. They scroll through old messages, revisiting memories they once ignored. They wonder if they can find a way back, if there is any possible path to undo the damage. But deep down, they know. They know they went too far, that they burned the bridge beyond repair. The same arrogance that once made them believe they didn't need you has now turned into sorrow. Because now they see what they lost. Now they understand that you were never just another person in their life. You were a gift, a blessing, a presence that they will never be able to replace. But here is where the lesson truly begins. They wanted to believe that their actions would have no consequences, that they could move on without any repercussions. But the spiritual laws do not work that way. When you betray someone sent by God, when you mistreat someone whose only intention was to love, support, and uplift you, you invite loss into your life. This is why everything in their world is starting to feel unstable. The blessings they once took for granted are slipping through their fingers. The favor they once had is diminishing. The things that once came easily now seem impossible. They thought they could do better, that they could build a future without you. But they didn't realize that the presence of a chosen one is not something you can just walk away from without consequences. Comment regret if you have ever witnessed someone finally understand what they lost. because next we will expose how their lives are falling apart without you. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe and share this video with another chosen one who needs this message. And if you feel called to support, click the super thanks button. Now let's go even deeper. How their lives are falling apart without you. Have you ever noticed how the moment you walk away from certain people, everything in their life begins to unravel? At first, they might not make the connection. They may even assume that things will continue as they always have, that their success, peace, and stability were entirely their own doing. But deep down, something shifts. The foundation they once stood on feels weaker. The clarity they once had is now clouded. The ease with which they moved through life is suddenly met with resistance. It's as if a divine force has pulled back, revealing the fragile nature of their stability. And the truth is, they are feeling it. They may not admit it, but the weight of their choices is pressing down on them. You were never just a person in their life. You were a covering, a force of divine protection that kept certain battles from ever reaching their doorstep. And now, without you, they are exposed to the full force of what they never had to endure before. For many of them, the unraveling begins subtly. A delayed opportunity here, a misunderstanding there. But soon, the cracks spread, and before they know it, everything feels out of control. They experience loss in areas they once thought were secure. Friendships they relied on begin to crumble, financial stability weakens, relationships turn sour, and peace becomes a distant memory. They try to understand why life suddenly feels heavier, why problems that never existed before are now consuming their thoughts. It's frustrating for them because, in their eyes, nothing should have changed. But what they fail to see is that spiritual alignment is everything. When they had you, they had favor. Your presence brought blessings, protection, and divine grace that covered them in ways they never recognized. And when they mistreated you, they unknowingly severed the connection to that grace. They made the mistake of thinking you were just another person, but in reality, you were an extension of divine order in their life. This isn't just a coincidence. It's a spiritual principle. The Bible speaks of divine coverings and the consequences of dishonoring those sent to bless you. One powerful yet often overlooked example comes from the book of Obadiah. This short yet profound book addresses the downfall of Edom, a nation that betrayed its own brother, Israel. Edom took advantage of Israel's suffering, refusing to help, and even rejoicing in their misfortune. But God's response was swift. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Obadiah 1 verse 15, KJV. Just as Edom thought they could mistreat those under God's favor and remain unaffected, so do many who take for granted the presence of a chosen one in their life. They fail to realize that by mistreating someone who carried divine covering, they set themselves up for their own downfall. What they did to you is now being done to them. The very doors they shut on you are now closed to them. The very pain they caused you has now become their reality. This is the weight of spiritual laws. They do not bend for personal convenience. And then the signs start to appear. At first, they might ignore them, convincing themselves that everything is fine. But as the setbacks multiply, they are forced to acknowledge the shift. Things that once worked effortlessly now require a struggle. Relationships that once felt secure now feel distant. Even their sense of purpose wavers, as if the very path they once walked confidently is now uncertain. And it's not just external losses, it's internal as well. Their peace is disturbed. Their mind is restless. They experience a heaviness they cannot shake. This is divine intervention at work. God is showing them the impact of their choices, not to destroy them, but to awaken them. When someone has been sent into your life as a covering, as a source of light and protection, their absence is not just emotional, it is spiritual. It alters the very atmosphere of your life. And those who have betrayed a chosen one are now feeling the full weight of what it means to walk without that covering. The favor they once enjoyed without effort is now gone, and they are left to navigate a world that no longer bends in their favor. By the time they realize the truth, it is often too late. Regret sets in, but the damage has already been done. They start to long for the stability they once had, not realizing that it was never about material things. It was about alignment. They search for ways to restore what was lost. But the reality is that divine doors do not reopen for those who refuse to learn their lesson. They may try to reach out, to mend the relationship, but the truth remains. They did not value the presence of a chosen one until they experienced life without it. And for many, this is a painful realization. They must now live with the knowledge that they mistreated a gift that was sent to uplift them. They lost something that can never be replaced, and no amount of effort can reverse the spiritual consequences of their actions. This is the cost of betrayal, not just in the natural world, but in the spiritual realm as well. Comment karma if you have ever witnessed someone suffer the consequences of mistreating a good person. Because next, we will discuss why they will try to come back. Why they will try to come back. Regret is a powerful thing. Once they realize what they lost, once they see that you were the blessing they ignored, they will try to come back. They will reach out, hoping to reconnect, hoping to get another chance. They will come with apologies, with explanations, with words they should have said when they had the chance. But do not be fooled. They are not coming back because they suddenly love you. They are coming back because they miss what you gave them. They miss your energy, your loyalty, your presence. They miss the way you made their life easier, the way you carried their burdens, the way you loved them unconditionally. It is a familiar cycle. People only recognize value once it is gone. They took you for granted, believing that you would always be there, always be the one to pick up the pieces, to forgive, to heal what was broken. But now, in your absence, they see the truth. They realize that it was not just comfort you provided, but a divine covering that shielded them from the consequences of their own actions. And now, without you, they are facing the full weight of their choices. It is a painful wake-up call, one they did not expect. The ones who walked away, who mistreated you, who betrayed your trust, are now feeling the emptiness that comes from losing something irreplaceable. But no matter how much they regret it, no matter how much they try to fix it, some doors are meant to stay closed. The Bible speaks of this pattern in Zephaniah, a lesser-known book that reveals the consequences of turning away from divine protection. Zephaniah 1 verse 6, KJV says, "And them that are turned back from the Lord, and those that have not sought the Lord, nor inquired for him." This passage speaks to those who have disregarded God's presence in their lives, only to later seek him when trouble arises. Much like those who dismissed your presence, they now seek to return, not out of true change, but out of desperation. Just as Israel suffered the consequences of turning away from God, those who mistreated you are now experiencing the absence of the covering you provided. They thought they could navigate life without you, but now they realize that your presence was not just companionship. It was protection, favor, and grace. But here is the shift: you are not obligated to reopen that door. God has moved you forward for a reason. When someone betrays the favor over your life, they are also rejecting the blessings that come with it. And now, as you step into your next season, you cannot afford to go back to what broke you. You have grown beyond their reach. Your healing, your progress, and your new opportunities are proof that divine intervention has been at work in your life. The relationships falling away, the sudden disconnections, the unanswered calls. It is not a loss, it is a sign that God is making room for something greater. You no longer have to carry the burdens of others who never valued you. You are stepping into a season where your energy is protected, your heart is guarded, and your purpose is unstoppable. They will come back with words, but words do not change history. They will remind you of the good times, but good times do not erase betrayal. They will promise to do better, but promises do not heal wounds. You have already given enough. You have already been patient, understanding, and kind. And now it is time to walk away for good. It is time to embrace the future that is waiting for you. Because when God removes someone from your life, it is not a punishment. It is protection. And when you finally let go, you will see why everything had to happen the way it did. Comment "No return" if you know you are never going back. Because next, we will discuss why moving forward is the most powerful thing you can do. They thought they could break you. They thought they could replace you. But now they see the truth. And nothing is more painful than realizing that the best thing that ever happened to them is gone forever. Why you must never look back. Moving forward is the ultimate revenge. The best thing you can do is thrive, succeed, and become everything they said you wouldn't be. Do not waste time trying to make them understand what they lost. Do not waste time seeking closure. You are the closure. Your success, your glow, your peace. That is what will haunt them. Because while they are drowning in regret, you are rising. While they are stuck in the past, you are creating a future beyond anything they could ever imagine. It is tempting to look back, to wonder if they finally understand what they did, if they finally realize your worth. But the truth is, their realization does not change your destiny. Their regret does not rewrite history. They had their chance, and they chose to take you for granted. Looking back only delays your progress, keeping you tethered to a past that no longer serves you. Every moment you spend dwelling on what was is a moment stolen from what could be. The pain they caused was never meant to break you. It was meant to build you. And now you stand at the edge of something greater, something that requires your full attention, your full energy, and your unwavering commitment to never turning back. The Bible reminds us of the danger of looking back in the story of Lot's wife. In Genesis 19 verse 26, KJV, it says, "But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt." This is not just a story about disobedience. It is a spiritual lesson about attachment to the past. Lot's wife was being led to safety, to a new beginning, yet her longing for what was left behind cost her everything. The same applies to you. God is pulling you forward, out of places and relationships that no longer align with His plan for you. But if you keep looking back, if you keep longing for what God has removed, you risk being stuck in a place you were never meant to remain. The past is a trap, and your future is waiting. And here is the beauty of it all: when you finally stop looking back, everything begins to change. The doors that once seemed closed suddenly swing open. Opportunities you never imagined start appearing. Your confidence grows, your clarity sharpens, and your energy shifts. You become lighter, free from the weight of what no longer belongs in your life. People who once overlooked you now watch in awe as you step into your greatness. The very ones who doubted you will see that you were never the problem. Their inability to value you was. And as you walk boldly into your new season, you will realize that everything you thought you lost was only making space for something greater. The lesson is clear. You are not meant to go back to what broke you. You are not meant to waste time trying to make someone see what they were too blind to appreciate. Your life is too precious, your purpose too great, to be distracted by those who failed to see your worth. Keep moving forward. Keep rising. Keep becoming everything they said you couldn't be. Because the greatest revenge is not proving them wrong. It is proving yourself right. It is stepping into the fullness of who you are, unapologetically, without hesitation, without looking back. Comment forward if you know you are never looking back. Because next, we will discuss how embracing the future with open arms leads to unimaginable blessings. You may have wrestled with this decision for weeks, months, maybe even years. Walking away from something familiar, something you once thought you couldn't live without, is never easy. Even now, you might feel that tug in your heart, a flicker of doubt asking if you made the right choice. Maybe you've replayed those final conversations in your mind, wondering if there was something else you could have done, a different path you could have taken. But deep down, there's another voice, a quieter, more certain voice telling you that leaving wasn't just a choice, it was a necessity. You knew you couldn't keep pouring your energy into something that drained you, that made you question your worth. You knew you deserved better, and though it might not have been easy, you took that step. You walked away, and now here you are wondering what's next, wondering if the pain of the past will ever fade, if the peace you long for will finally come. The truth is, it already has. You're beginning to feel it, aren't you? That faint sense of freedom growing stronger each day. That realization that you did what you had to do to protect yourself, to honor your journey. Still, it's hard not to revisit the struggle. You remember the moments when it seemed like nothing you did was good enough. You gave so much of yourself, your time, your energy, your love, only to feel like it was never appreciated. You bent over backwards, hoping things would change, only to find that the more you gave, the more they took. At some point, you began to question if the problem was you. Maybe you thought, If I could just be more patient, more understanding, maybe things would get better. But it didn't. Instead, it only left you feeling emptier, more depleted. The weight of it all started to suffocate you. The arguments, the silent treatments, the constant second-guessing. It's a heavy burden to carry, feeling like you're not enough, like you have to prove your worth over and over. And then came the realization. The problem wasn't you. It never was. You weren't the issue, you were the gift. You were the blessing. You were the one who tried to hold it all together. And the moment you accepted that truth, you knew it was time to walk away. The Bible offers wisdom that often goes unnoticed. Consider Matthew 10 verse 14. If anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, leave that home or town and shake the dust off your feet. This verse may not be as widely quoted as others, but it speaks directly to your experience. It reminds us that we are not meant to stay in places where our efforts, our love, and our kindness are unrecognized. God never intended for you to remain stuck in situations that drained your spirit. Walking away wasn't an act of weakness. It was an act of faith. By stepping away, you weren't abandoning your responsibilities. You were honoring the person God created you to be. He never designed you to live in a state of constant struggle and rejection. Instead, He called you to rise above it, to shake off the dust, and to move forward toward a place of peace, abundance, and purpose. Now that you've made that choice, you're starting to see the signs of transformation all around you. Maybe it's the subtle shifts, feeling lighter when you wake up, noticing your laughter returning, or sensing a newfound clarity in your mind. Doors that once seemed sealed shut are beginning to open. Opportunities you thought were out of reach are now finding their way to you. Relationships that weighed you down are falling away, making space for those who truly support and value you. You're not just moving on, you're moving into a higher version of yourself. You're stepping into the life you were always meant to live. And it's not just about the external changes. Internally, you're finding a strength you didn't know you had. A confidence that reminds you that walking away wasn't the end. It was the beginning. It was the first step toward reclaiming your power, your worth, and your joy. Divine intervention has been at work, aligning your steps and guiding you to where you belong. The struggles of the past are fading, and what remains is the undeniable truth. You are free. So now it's time to own that freedom, to step boldly into this new chapter without looking back, to embrace the love, opportunities, and abundance that have always been meant for you. Comment, "I am chosen," if this message resonates with you. Let this be your declaration that you are no longer defined by what you left behind. Instead, you are defined by the strength it took to walk away, by the courage it took to choose yourself, by the faith it took to believe that something better was waiting for you. Share this message with others who need to hear it, others who might still be wrestling with the choice you've already made. Show them that it's not only possible to let go, it's empowering. This is your confirmation that you made the right choice by walking away, that you were never the problem, that you were always the blessing, and now you are free. Free to step into your destiny without anything holding you back. Free to receive the love, the opportunities, and the abundance that was meant for you all along. If this message resonated with you, comment, "I am chosen" below. Subscribe, share this video, and never forget, walking away was the best thing you ever did. Now watch how your life unfolds exactly as it was always meant to. It's no small thing the moment you decided to walk away. It came after countless hours of second-guessing, countless nights spent wondering if you were doing the right thing. That choice may still linger in your mind. Was it the right move? What if you were wrong? But let me tell you this. Walking away from what no longer serves you is not a mistake. It's a declaration. It's a statement that you refuse to settle, that you will no longer remain in a place where you're not appreciated, valued, or nurtured. Yes, it may feel uncertain right now. You may still hear the echoes of those doubts. But here's what I want you to know. The very fact that you had the courage to walk away means you are stronger than you realize. You are not alone. So many others have stood where you're standing, and they can tell you this: you've just made one of the most powerful decisions of your life. This is your confirmation that you made the right choice by walking away, that you were never the problem, that you were always the blessing, and now you are free. free to step into your destiny without anything holding you back, free to receive the love, the opportunities, and the abundance that was meant for you all along. If this message resonated with you, comment, "I am chosen" below. Subscribe, share this video, and never forget, walking away was the best thing you ever did. Now watch how your life unfolds exactly as it was always meant to.